EAGLES, Eagles.
And welcome in, everybody, to a Monday morning edition of Birds 365 here on JAKIB Sports. I'm your host, Zander. Krause. That's my co-host, Johnny Mack, John McMullen. Fresh back with you, a full week in front of us, a big week in front of us for the Philadelphia Eagles. Joint practices with the Patriots this week, and we are fresh coming off the very first game, a preseason game for the Philadelphia Eagles that took place on Saturday evening. Johnny Mack, how you doing this Monday morning, my friend?
Doing well. Trying to recover. Still recovering from that disgusting looking performance, which doesn't matter. I'm not going to say the sky is falling. None of the key players played. Nobody who's going to be out there in a meaningful way on September 13th, with the exception of Jihad Campbell, Michael Carter, few guys, but you get the point. The vast majority of people that will be winning or losing that game were not on the field for either side, by the way. So I don't think it's the end of the world. You'd prefer to have a third down conversion. You'd prefer to have not 7 3-and-outs when all you talked about in the offseason was we got to fix third down. I got to fix third down by fixing first down and second down and getting in more manageable situations. By talking up, well, we got to scheme it up, and you can't scheme up one something, even with the backup players, because that's the whole point. The more talent you have, the less you have to worry about scheme. But if you got to scheme people up, well, they couldn't scheme the bad backups up. So I don't want to give everybody a pass, but it is also not meaningful. But you can't have it. I was talking about this to you, but you can't have it both ways. It's like you want to ignore all the bad, and then I see a lot of Josh Weiroo hype with third string reps, and I'm like, you got to put him on the roster. No, you don't. No, you don't. Third string reps are third string reps. There's a mentality in the NFL, preseason lies. What they're saying is preseason games lie.
Right.
Because all reps are not created equal. And to the naked eye, to the average fan, they're like, well, so-and-so look good. It might be the backup quarterback. It might be the backup running back, so-and-so. But they're playing against a bunch of backups. So you have to add that context, and that's why the good teams, the vast majority of the good teams rely on their entire process of preseason reps and practice and all that stuff. And that's why you see somebody splash in the last preseason game and they won't make the roster, and you go, what the hell? Well, they didn't play well for the majority of the summer. But anyway, long roundabout way to say, yeah, it was an ugly performance. It's not the end of the world. But, you can't have it both ways. So the few little bright spots that you think you saw are not that relevant either. Because, Cole Payton, some nice off-schedule stuff, but we knew that. We know he can run the ball. We know he can extend plays. Did you see much as a passer? Because I didn't.
No, but I also didn't see much as a passer for Mannion, Dalton, or Tanner McKee. So I don't know if I would.
No, well, that's more of a that's a fair. I'm not saying I did either, but that's fair. But I'm saying, don't get overly excited about third and fourth string reps because the guy can run around a little bit. That's not going to project too well for the future.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, John, we'll get into some of the details of it. It's preseason, so we'll move on as well. Patriots this week joint practices. That's the biggest week of the offseason, John, in preparation for the regular season to me. The first team is going to get a bunch of reps. They travel to New England. John, just give us a schedule real quick here this morning on a Monday morning for what that looks like. I know they practiced today. So normally when they practice, everybody, we're not live, but they moved it a little later on. So we have a full live show this morning. And then we'll follow up a little bit with a brief show this evening to follow up and see what happened at practice today. John, give us the rundown on the week.
Yeah, practice today a little bit later, as you mentioned, 12:20 scheduled to begin noonish, right before Sean Mannion's up. So he's got to answer some of the questions about what went on in Baltimore. And then tomorrow is a walkthrough, and after the walkthrough, they're heading up to New England, Foxborough, Boston, Providence, wherever you prefer to stay. But and the rest of the week, they're there basically. So you got practice Wednesday and Thursday, walkthrough Friday, and the game, preseason game, which you will see no starters from both sides. I mean, I don't know Mike Vrabel, but my presumption is he'll err on the same side and say we're getting.
Yeah, I don't think they played in their first. Did the Patriots starters play in their first preseason game? I know.
I don't know.
I know Drake May didn't, but maybe they had a couple defensive guys like we did. I'm not sure.
Yeah. My presumption is they'll take the same approach, but you never know. So I just put that in there. But and yeah, so the rest of the week will be in Foxborough. And I'm not going to be there. I'd like to go. Got too much stuff going on. But yeah, and it's a shame because it is the most important, I think, week of the summer.
Yeah, agreed.
So
that means Birds 365 will have morning shows every day, right?
Yeah.
So morning shows every day, everybody. So a normal week here on Birds 365, which we were good. Good to restore some, the schedule that we've always had on Birds. I do get thrown off a little bit by the night shows. I won't lie to you guys. All right, John, preseason game. Did it make you concerned about the depth on the team?
Not really. I mean, they played poorly, so I start there. The people that did play, for the most part, but I think, I said some of the defense wasn't that bad.
Well, they did give up 440 yards.
Yeah. Early though, it wasn't that bad. But again, it kind of shifts. There's no starters anyway. And the offense, individually, there's little chunks of positives. I thought, Cole Payton late did show that ability to do things off script that is a big part of the modern NFL. We'll see if he's got to get up to speed on the actual playing quarterback part. Willie Lampkin excited some people. You get the clip merchants out there putting the highlights. And I told you that was going to happen because Willie's so unique looking and so athletic. So you got to focus on consistency with him. But he played guard and center. He had reps on both. And I think he's making a run at the team. Will Shipley showed some things. He's not on the bubble. Anybody who tells you Will Shipley's on the bubble, he's not on the bubble.
They don't have the backs. I mean, how could he be on the bubble? They're not going to keep him.
I see a lot of people in their 53s. I don't know if he's going to be. Well, they don't pay attention to special teams. Number one, he's the personal protector. And he'll be the kickoff returner. They're trying some other people, but they don't really have anybody to do it. So, he had the two nice runs, which were about the only positive thing in the first half. And Markel Bell was a part of those runs as well. I thought he did pretty well at right tackle, and that's a positive because he played in college at left tackle. But here, the projection is hopefully heir apparent to Lane Johnson. I thought he did well. Positive. I put a positive in his category. John Njoku was somebody nobody talks about, but I thought he showed up, played left guard and left tackle. As a potential backup offensive lineman, especially if you want to trade Fred. I think he could be relevant. skill people didn't look good. Darius Cooper didn't look good. That was a disappointment. After the strong camp to start, Jake Majors didn't look good. He had a strong camp. I think he's sort of taken a backseat. The tight ends are, that might be the weakest part of this team. They started running this offense, what they project to be this offense with Grant Calcaterra and Eli Stowers. I mean, why even go out there? Neither of them can block. And it started right away with
first play of the game.
Yeah.
I think it was a Tank Bigsby run to the outside, and it got called back as of an Eli Stowers hold.
I mean, it's just, and again, Dallas is not out. Johnny Munt, surprisingly, a healthy scratch. That tells you they know they need Johnny Munt.
Johnny Munt's going to be out there, man.
He's a lock. That is bad. That situation is bad. And the quarterbacks played poorly.
I don't know what they're going to do about quarterbacks. I mean, look, we're not overreacting here. There's no first-team guys out there. This isn't – but I do think from a perspective of you wanted to see one of the quarterbacks kind of seize the opportunity for QB2. John, I think you stated it nicely on our post-game show where, you thought after Dalton went 3 for 6 for 20 yards with 3 straight 3-and-outs, that was kind of an opportunity for McKee to come in and move the football a little bit. He failed to do so as well. He went 6 of 10 for 35 yards. He was sacked. I believe it was a nickel blitz where he got sacked. He didn't look much better. Really bad performance, John, by the backup quarterbacks. I don't know what that means for the Eagles, if anything. Maybe it doesn't mean anything. But they have always been a franchise that's valued the backup quarterback spot. You think their minds are being racked right now on options, what to do with that room, or are they just going to live with what they got?
Well, there's already the McCarthy hype has already started. Because I mean, he's going to get traded, just a matter of when. And I know Locke and Fora was out there saying the Eagles and Giants and somebody else. So you could have an NFC East battle for JJ McCarthy. I don't. Is he going to upgrade your backup situation compared to Andy Dalton? I don't think so. I think you get worse.
Yeah. I'm not
now,
sure.
If you're talking about long term and if you believe in the kid, I don't understand that. I would stay put and just go with Andy Dalton. Like, I'm sorry, Tanner McKee. He just like a Bandy. It was a tough throw, but Darius Cooper's got to come up with that 1 3rd and 5. And it was a fastball, but it was where an NFL receiver catches it, and all of a sudden you convert, and who knows what happens on that drive, and it doesn't look as bad as what you just said, 3 and outs. Sometimes the receiver's got to pick up the quarterback, and that was an indication. It wasn't a perfect throw, but he's got to catch that pass. He just knows how to play the position. And again, if you're talking about you got to win 2 games, he can get you with this talent they have. He can get you to the finish line. Tanner McKee, I think, is regressed, and I don't know why.
What happened to Tanner McKee?
I don't know, but he looks just he looks confused. I mean, he had a chance to rip one in the seam, and it was like a worm burner. It's like there's no confidence.
Looks like he's completely shelled up as a player. John, I remember when he first came in a preseason game. I don't know if it was his first year or second year, but it was versus the Bengals. And I remember the first thing the announcer said, like the first drive, he was driving right down the field. And they're like, man, Tanner McKee gets the ball out quickly. That was one of the first things I remember them saying it. Boy, that is gone. I mean, he didn't get the ball out at all.
Yeah. And it's been even worse in practice. That's been a thing in practice. The ball just doesn't come out.
You think
He's
he's
not
just confused by the new offense, not comfortable? I mean,
he's definitely
risk-averse approach, that they've drilled into their quarterbacks. Has it broken him in a way? I mean, good Lord.
He definitely doesn't trust what he sees. So for whatever reason, it could be confusion. It could be beating it out of him. I don't think it's beating it out of him. He's just not playing with any confidence. Confidence is a big thing at the pro level. Like if you lose your confidence, he seems like somebody's lost his confidence. And right now, I as bad as it looked for both of them, like I don't think it's close. Like who should be the backup quarterback? To me, it's pretty clear. Andy Dalton's a better quarterback. Yeah.
What do you think they would do with McKee? Would he be a trade? I mean, I don't know here.
Yeah, you'll trade him. Somebody will give you, but you're talking about a day 3 pick, obviously.
Like a 6 or a 7?
Yeah.
I think it's like a 7, honestly.
It's Howie. Maybe he can get a condition to get it up to a 4 if he plays some. But it's a long way from asking for a 2nd round pick, like they were talking about. Yeah, I don't even know if I want Cole Payton as the 3rd quarterback. I might keep them both and put Cole Payton on the practice squad. But I don't want JJ McCarthy.
I don't know. I at least like the playmaking ability of Payton. I mean, even if he struggles in the passing game, I like that he gives you that when the play breaks down, which, let's be real, John, if you get to your 3rd quarterback anyway, most plays are probably going to be breaking down at that point. I mean, you got a guy who can go and make a play.
Remember, if you get to your 3rd string quarterback, they're playing with the first team off. It shouldn't break down. You should. Now, most teams are right. Most teams don't have a good 3rd team quarterback, so it looks shitty. But it's not because of things breaking down. It's because the players overwhelmed. Most of the time, with good teams, you're going to have a difficult time with a 3rd string quarterback, but not necessarily because things are breaking down everywhere else, like a preseason game. In a preseason game, you're true. Third, 4th team reps are a disaster.
Yeah, disaster.
And it's usually because of the offensive line, and nobody has depth on the offensive line. But that's not the case if you have, bad injury luck and you lose your top 2 guys. That's not the case. They're playing with the first teamers. So, think about last year. You had Tanner McKee and Sam Howell. They brought in Sam Howell because Tanner McKee broke his thumb and wasn't available for the first 2 games. And they said, well, we need somebody. Now, you never got to see Sam Howell play, but he would have been, with that team, he would have been competent. So if they want to replicate that, they got to keep them both. And put Cole Payton on the practice squad. And I think they can do that. He didn't open anybody's eyes week 1 and say, all right, we got to claim this guy on waivers.
Yeah, that I think is fair. I think it's true and fair. All right, John, good stuff. John, I thought a positive of the game was Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Every time I watch him, the guy just play. I don't care if it's, starters, practice, training camp. He seems to just play good and most of the circumstances he's put in. He had a sack out there. I think he had 5 tackles, a quarterback hit. He was all over the place. He didn't play too much, but I thought that was a bright spot. You tell me.
Yeah, I think he's a good player, flat out. I've said that pretty consistently. So it's no surprise when he's out there. Certainly amongst backups, he's going to be one of the best players on the field, backups against backups. And I thought he showed that little, the PFF grades came out and he was not in the top grouping, but it's only because he did a tremendous job in run defense, tackling, pass rush, but he's not the best coverage guy. So that drags him down a little bit. But that's what he is, a downhill linebacker. I think you play to those strengths. and I think he's a good player. And I think the eye test works there. I think he played well. Which the other hype on Josh Weiroo, like, whoa, let's settle that train down. I don't want to go all Vic on you, but those guys in UR too are light years away, light years. And
what do you think they'll do though? Like you've said, you think they're going to keep?
Well,
UR.
I think they're going to keep UR. I think they'll try. They want to keep Josh. Don't get me wrong, but I think they're not going to keep 6 edge rushers and 2 international players who aren't going to play at all.
Yeah, right. That's tough to do. And Ty Robinson
what's amusing, what's amusing to me, I say if you put the 90 Eagles off-season roster, well, Brandon George would be number 1. He just got signed, so nobody knows who he is. But other than Brandon George, I think 89 would be Jose Ramirez, who happens to be an edge rusher, who happened to play 43 reps in that game, who happened to have 2 quarterback hits and a hurry and 2 tackles and graded out tremendously. And nobody knows who he is. He was he was a good college player. He was the MAC Defensive Player of the Year. If you want to get to the preseason hype, get the Joe Ramirez. I'm calling him Joe. Get to Jose Ramirez, man. That dude can play. Now he's got some size limitations. That's why he wasn't. He had a bunch of sacks at college, Eastern Michigan. As I said, MAC Defensive Player of the Year. But he's a little bit undersized. And you see him in practice in one-on-ones. He beats people like a drum. Reminds me of Joe Osman. He knows how to play. Like he's the exact opposite of the raw guys. Like he knows how to play, but he's got those size. He's not even 6'2". He's a little bit under 6'2". So you can see as an edge rusher. And by the way, I'm not saying he's going to make the team because he's not. They should keep him on the practice squad, but we'll see. But I mean, did anybody notice him on the field? Because he was the guy flying around.
Yeah, I mean, he looked good out there, but I guess at that point, people are just like, people have largely checked out on it. But, all right, John, it is what it is. Don't want to overreact. John, what do you make of the coaching staff in a game like that? It was Sean Mannion's first attempt to play call. All right. They obviously go 0 for 9 on 3rd down. They have 7 3-and-outs in the football game. Came across as unprepared to play. I don't know if you put that on Nick at all. A lot of people do put it on Nick. What do you make of the coaching staff when it comes to a game like that?
Well, I don't know if they were unprepared. I mean, it wasn't good, so I guess you got to put that on them. I mean, if your goal is to win a preseason game, but that's not the goal. The biggest microscope is going to be on Sean because it's his first game, and we all know the lack of experience and what they're trying to fix, and it got even worse. It's like, hold my beer. That's what I wrote. Everybody, Kevin Petula is the worst coach, and he said, hold my beer. 7 3-and-outs, 0 for 9. They didn't convert a 3rd down in the entire football game. I mean, that's brutal. Again, you got to be able to. The whole narrative is, how many times do we say, well, occasionally you got to get Jalen Hurts a layup, scheme something up. Well, there we go. Let's see it. Now, vanilla game plans and all that stuff. And I do think Jesse Minter was rolling up. Yeah, that blitz that caught Tanner McKee. That was like these uber aggressive defensive coordinators who are better than their offensive counterparts, by the way. Let me state that again. Who are better than their offensive counterparts. they roll shit out in the preseason. So if you look at that play where they had the weak side blitz, Tanner McKee switched the protection because of the pre-snap look. He switched it one way, and they rolled out of it like Vic. Everybody copies Vic. They roll out of it post-snap. Tanner McKee's got no idea what's going on. All of a sudden, the guy he thinks is coming is dropping into coverage. The safety he thinks is going to drop down to replace him, is rotating over, and then they blitz from the weak side. He's got no clue that guy was going to be coming, and the play's entirely blown up. These defensive guys are worlds ahead of these offensive guys. And they try stuff in the preseason. You see it with Flores all the time. Like, he's rolling out exotic blitzes, and these guys are worried about competitive advantage. You know how you fix your shit? You practice it, and you practice it in a live environment. I don't like the approach. I don't like the approach, so I'll criticize the coaching staff for that. But I'm not going to say unprepared, because I don't, for the most part, the operation was fine. And I asked Nick about that post game. They had a lot of penalties, but it was mainly execution errors or mental errors. It wasn't because of the operation. They only had, I think, one pre-snap penalty that was really a mental error. They weren't up against the play clock or anything like that. They didn't have to burn any timeouts. Not that you're burning timeouts or care, but so I think that was the one positive. But and then to my point, but Jesse Minter's out there trying to get better, and they aren't. I hate to put it like that, but we can't show anything. Well, then you're probably going to struggle early in the season. I mean, he's out there trying to improve things. Why don't you guys try to improve things? I don't know. It's a novel approach, if you ask me. But, Warren Sharp, that's another thing. Warren Sharp, who's the great stat guy at Sharp Football, if you want to follow him. He's been following along, and I have to check this out. I don't have it. I don't know if you saw the under center numbers, versus gun or pistol. I haven't seen it yet, but I'll try to find it. But already, so there are so many teams going the same direction. So the Dolphins went from 68% to 32%. Shotgun. So these are the shotgun pistol numbers dropping 60 to 32. And that makes sense. 2 is not there anymore. The Commanders went from 85% to 50. The Falcons went from 78 to 46. The Cardinals went from 61 to 28. They have Jeremiah Love, and they got him hurt. So that's why you don't play in the preseason. Chargers went from 65 to 42. That's a bit of a surprise because Mike McDaniel's out there, but maybe that was just an anomaly. Bengals went from 75 to 54. The Raiders 56 to 36. Texans 57 to 40. Broncos 63 to 48. Everybody's doing the same goddamn thing. Does that not bother anybody? Like, you're just along for the ride.
Especially because we won a Super Bowl being different.
Yeah. I don't know. That's what bothers me most about it. Like, you're just part of the crowd now. And what are the odds you're going to do it better than Sean McVay? You see Ty Simpson in the opener there?
He looked good.
What are the odds you're going to do better than he is, or Kyle Shanahan? I don't think Kyle has the talent right now, but you get my point. That's so my criticism of the coaching staff is more of, holistic, I guess. It's more about the approach. It's more about the mindset, which I don't like. Even Sean Mannion, and you told me this after the game, and I evidently came from Ross, our buddy Ross Tucker.
Yeah.
He's doing the preseason games. He plans to coach from the box and Foxborough. Like, how do you fucking not know what you want to do? So to me,
he's never done it. That's how.
Well, okay. Is that a problem then? He's never done it?
It is. I'm just telling you, that would be my
Now, any way you look at it, you run into a problem.
Yes, that's correct.
It's like a freaking the road is closed,
like
and you're trying to and you're trying to go around, and everywhere you go is closed. He's been a quarterback for a long time. I'm not even going down the route of he's never done it before, because I don't believe it. I think he's going to be on the field. I think it's optics. I think he's trying. Look what we're doing. We're trying out every angle. Bullshit. Show some conviction. You want to communicate with the quarterback in real time. And if he coaches from the box, I'll be stunned. I'll be stunned. Not that people haven't done it. People have done it. People do it.
You don't mean this week. You mean this year.
Yeah. Yeah, this year. I don't mean this week. Evidently, he's going to do it. So my framing on that is I think they're trying to placate like outside voice. Look, we're trying to do this. No, I'd rather have conviction. But even if I'm wrong and it's not optics and they truly are what you just said, well, he's never done it before. He's trying to figure it out. Well, damn it then. Don't hire him.
Yeah, that's a problem too for a team that has Super Bowl aspirations.
Yeah. So, but that's why I say it's not about this particular game. It's more about the mindset and what's going on from a larger stage perspective, I guess. I don't like the following. I don't like the lack of conviction, if that's what's going on. And I don't like the mindset of trying to get the Xerox copy instead of the original, which they have on defense, but they don't have on offense.
Yeah, well, fair enough. All right, we got a super chat here. We'll get to that. We'll talk a little bit about this week. New England, AJ Brown will be a storyline. We'll be watching that, obviously, and it'll be starters getting most of the reps, obviously, in those joint practices. That will be big, and then I'm assuming another backup-filled preseason game next week for the Eagles versus the Patriots. I believe that's next Saturday night, same time. John, let me look what that game was because I want to get that. Eagles.
I haven't looked that far. I assume so. They got to put these games at night. Why can't they be? Why can't you put preseason games? We rolled in at 3 a.m.
That's what time the carpool got back, or that's what time John.
That's when I got back. That's when I got back. A little bit earlier. I'm exaggerating. Those guys got home at 3. They had a longer way to go. I'm a little bit. The issues going to Baltimore, if you live in South Jersey, are going because of the breakneck at I-95.
Yeah, right.
But at that time of night, there's no traffic, so you can kind of coast through. But so it's a little bit easier for me getting back at night. But just in general, why can't you have those games at 1:00 or 4:00 at least? I mean, nobody cares about them. The Ravens have a pretty rabid following for people that don't know. There's probably half full at best.
Yeah, no, I mean, nobody cares about him. People, if you're a Ravens fan, you want to watch Lamar Jackson, I would assume.
Yeah.
Here's Chosen One John. He says this: Cole Young earned some time on the second team.
Oh, come on. Stop it. No, we didn't.
Is it Pumper rebranded or something? What's going on with this guy?
Cole Young. We didn't earn second team reps with 4 string reps. All reps aren't
right now. That's anybody's job after that performance.
That is not. But Cole Payton will not be the backup quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, barring multiple injuries. If they trade Andy Dalton and keep Tanner McKee, they would still pick somebody else up before they make him the backup quarterback. Maybe J.J. McCarthy. Maybe Anthony Richardson. You talk about upside, you may take a shot at that guy. Although he's with Shane Steichen, it's not working out. So, upside with movement skills, take a shot at him. But no, he hasn't earned second team reps with fourth team reps.
Well, at least he moved the ball a little bit. How many first downs did the team have when he entered the game? 2, right?
2.
And then they ended with 6, I think.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. I don't know how many times I can explain it. There's difference even between the second team reps and in those last waning reps where literally no one cares.
Yeah, you're not playing versus even second or third teamers at that point.
And then if you watch it, it's not in structure. There was one pass in structure, which was complete over the middle of the field, and everything else was, let's let this guy run around. So don't give Sean Mannion credit for that either, because it was all the offense. They had 80 yards coming into that drive. 80 yards. And then he just ran around and played sandlot football. I'm not saying he's not athletic. He's tremendously athletic, but that does not translate to playing the position unless you want to play that way, which is not sustainable. You know, if you play 60 minutes of football, even if you take somebody by surprise at the beginning of the game and they say, oh, well, this guy is a heck of an athlete, but you can't throw the football. Let's just lay back and bracket him and umbrella the whole thing and say, you got to throw it, big boy. That's not going to look good.
It's not going to look good, John, but until we get to that point, I'm not going to try and envision it. We'll see. All right, John, that's the wrap in the game. I mean, it was an ugly game. To close it out, you just flush it and move on. Is there anything you take from it? Is there anything you don't take from it? I mean, you know.
You definitely flush it. It's funny, you know. Saw Howie in the locker room after, and one of his assistants was loading up something on his iPad so he could watch it on the way home. And it was, I was thinking, I can't imagine he's watching this game. So I think the trade might be incoming.
Yeah, right.
Somewhere. No, you got to flush this thing. I mean, obviously you point out, look, there were 2 plays, and I talked about that with Nick as well. The Shaun Wade play, you know, where that's things you do as a coach. You point out, all right, this guy gives up a completion, not good, misses a tackle, not good, but then responds, keeps chasing, keeps hustling, and then tears it away, strips the football. So that's like a teaching moment. Like, you know, forget about it. Go, all right, you made a mistake, go make up for it. And he did that on one play. And then Keely Ringo as well with the DPI and setting up the Ravens inside, you know, I think it was inside the 5, and then makes the great interception, responds to it. So those are little things as a coach, you know, you got
I
to be
like
out.
Ty Robinson sack too. That was a nice play.
Yeah, Ty played pretty well. I said, don't give up on Ty too. I said that.
You were slightly prophetic before the game. I think it was before on the preseason. You said it a bunch last week, but on the pregame show, John, you were like, I think people were going too hard on Ty last year. Now I think they've gone too far the other way.
Yeah.
Boom, Ty delivers a pretty good performance. Nice job by Ty Robinson.
I thought he did well. By the way, I was impressed with Baltimore's 4th string quarterback, Joe Bagnano, out there processing. Maybe they'll cut him and bring him in. Any Joe Bagnano fans out there? That guy was undrafted kid out of UConn. He was pretty impressive when it came. Now, that was a bad throw, the Ringo throw across his body. And he had an open guy right away in the flat, and he didn't take it. So, I mean, young quarterback, but I was impressed. You know who else I was impressed by? JAKIB Lane.
Yeah, he's good. He's had a really good camp, I've heard.
You know, a USC wide receiver.
Where was he drafted? What round?
3rd. He's big dude. He's like 6'4", so he's
6'4", 208. 3rd round, 80th pick overall.
Yeah, he looked good.
You know where people are going with that, right?
Yeah. They always say USC quarterbacks can't play. They'll say that about receivers. Well, JAKIB Lane can play. No, we got to see Makai get, and hopefully, I think there's a chance he'll be out there today. That'll be one of the biggest stories. But, and maybe things will start to ramp up. But overall, that's a lot of negative. But overall, yes, it doesn't matter because Jalen Hurts is not out there. Saquon Barkley, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Lane Johnson. Johnny Muntz. I'm going to throw Johnny Munt in there for he's so freaking important. My God, their tight ends can't block.
Could they make a move at that position, you think?
Yes. Unless you want to keep E.J. Jenkins, and I don't know if they can keep E.J. Jenkins. He's pretty good as a blocker, but he's too inconsistent, which is funny because he used to be a king-size wide receiver in college, and he transitioned him, gained a bunch of weight, got stronger, physical. He can block, but I don't know how you can fit him on the team. And I think Cam Latu is a guy who can block, but he didn't play enough to really showcase it. But when they had Calcaterra and Stowers out there, it's like the Stowers pick is confusing to me. I said that when they picked him.
You said it before they picked him, John.
Yeah.
You were like, I don't like that fit.
I don't like that fit at all. Now that I see it, it's even worse than I imagined. I don't want to pick on him, but if PFF had 29 players, he was last. 29 players.
Jeez, was he really?
Yeah, dead last.
I don't even know. The thing that I struggle with is, I guess they're banking on him becoming a better blocker. But even if they picked him as a future pick to be like Dallas Goedert's replacement, I still don't like the pick. Like
I mean, if he turns into a mediocre blocker, and I don't think the upside is there for him to turn into George Kittle. But if he can turn into a Zach Ertz level blocker, then I think he can. Yeah, I think he could be fine long term. I think he will be fine long term. But with this particular running scheme and what you're asking out of the tight ends, it doesn't make a lot of sense in the short term, at least. But
yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with him. Obviously, we're hoping that he has a good career, but it's right now it is an interesting fit. I think Ertz is a good comp. Wasn't Ertz a bad blocker coming out in the draft?
Not this bad, but yeah, I mean, he was a legitimate tight end. But obviously he was known for his pass catching ability, and it was below average, but he was, not this is like this guy's not even a natural tight end moving from quarterback. This is like build up from ground zero. But if he can get up, and everybody says he's willing and he's got the frame to get stronger and add size. And I believe all that. He's a smart kid. Vandy, went to Vandy, finished at Vandy. I believe all that. But, it's going to be tough to get him on the field this year. I don't know if that's relevant or valuable anyway, but I mean, you're asking a lot out of Johnny Munt, who I think his career high is maybe 450 snaps. Like, this is not a guy who's ever played 700-800 snaps. And you don't really have a backup for Johnny Munt? Like, you should be pushing Johnny Munt off the roster.
Right. Who do you think would make it if the season started today and they had to make the 53-man? Who do you think it would be? Will they keep 4 or no?
Well, I think they have to, but again, you can, if you want to call Latu a fullback, you can, whatever you want to label him as. You got to keep Goddard, Munt, Stowers, and I would think Latu at this point.
Well, that's going to be interesting. We'll see what ends up happening there. All right, good stuff, everybody. Appreciate you all being here. John, Patriots joint practice coming up. That's an important one here this week. What are you looking to learn from this week? What's important about this week? Explain to the people what makes these joint practices so important in the offseason here for the Birds.
Well, joint practices, obviously A.J. Brown will overwhelm everything, but I'm talking about what is actually important. And what is actually important is all the first team reps you're going to get against another team that's a good team, by the way. Obviously made the Super Bowl last year. So you're going to get not only to test yourself against another good team, but you're going to get all those valuable first team reps in a more controlled environment. So not only does that mean you can be more cautious when it comes to the quarterbacks, especially, but you can also script periods. Nick Sirianni and Mike Vrabel will get together. And if Nick says, hey, and he should, by the way, we need some third down periods here. And you work that out. And, Mike is probably not adverse to working on third downs himself. It's pretty important in football, but it could be red zone, could be backed up, whatever you need to work on. If you think about it from a live game and you want to work on something, well, you got to hope that situation crops up in the game. Can't work on red zone if you don't get in the red zone. Can't work on backed up if you're never backed up. So you can script the periods and get as much necessary work as you can possibly get. That's mainly the positive. That's why coaches value them so much. The health aspect, the controlled aspect. You can work on what you need to work on. And it should be good. But AJ will obviously overwhelm everything, but there'll be plenty of nuggets coming out about actual reps and as well. And that's the more important part.
Yeah, important for the corners too. I mean, who's going to line up against A.J. Brown? Obviously, you'll see Christian Gonzalez out there versus our wide receivers, Devontae Smith. Hopefully, he's back for the joint practices. John, I think Makai Lemon's got to get back there for the joint practices. What say you?
Yeah, definitely. I I don't want to say I expect him back, but I think he'll be back today. Certainly seems to be trending in that direction. I mean, he was out there every day working on the jugs. He doesn't have any compression sleeves on. This is the time. I think they pulled the trigger. I guess they could wait one more day and wait till, but I don't, you probably want them to knock the rust off at their own practice. But yeah, he's got to be out there, or you start to seriously talk about, like, is he even going to be part of the mix week 1? Which is not the end of the world, but at least short term, first month of the season. If he misses another week, because if he's not in the joint practice, he's not in the game.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if he misses this week, John, are you gonna? What would be the outlook for him when it comes to week 1?
Well, yeah, it wouldn't be. He's probably not going to play much week 1. Which
would mean who would slot in right now? Cooper, Moore, Hollywood.
Well, Cooper's got to bounce back, man.
Yeah, I agree.
That was a poor performance. Moore, I mean, that's still a position that there's a lot of potential movement, guys. Movement by I mean up and down the depth chart, because to this point, Elijah Moore and Darius Cooper had strong camps. Cooper got a lot of opportunities in Baltimore, did not perform. Not just his fault, but there were plays he could have made. It wasn't a great performance. Elijah didn't get a lot of opportunities. I was surprised by that. So, Johnny Wilson may have been the winner because he was held out. He didn't play. Now, he's not one of the deference guys. He's been dealing with the knee soreness. But he didn't play, so there wasn't anything bad on film. Maybe that gets him back in the mix. But yeah, for all the positive talk about the wide receivers, and this is what I was talking about. You got a bunch of guys who are fringe NFL receivers, but that's not what you want. That's why I'm saying I'm not keeping 6 of these guys.
Yeah, I get your point on that.
And you can get 2 of them back on the practice squad and do it that way. So as far as who would play, yeah, I mean, I would say Cooper's still in the lead from his work in practice, but his stock took a big hit with that performance in Baltimore. I still think Eric Izukanma might be. They should look at him a little bit more, but they're not going to listen to me.
Yeah, well, he's the one who had the touchdown right in the back of the end zone. Nice little play by him there.
Did he? I don't remember. I've already forgot.
Yeah, no, it was him. Yeah, he had the touchdown from Cole Payton. Yeah. All right, here's Bird Gang checks in. What's up, Bird Gang? Is it too early to say, other than Bell, this draft class is looking like a bust for Howie? It's definitely too early to say that. Drafting a project tight end in the second round is diabolical.
Not really, but okay. I wouldn't go diabolical. I mean, Markel Bell's not even going to play this year unless somebody gets hurt, and your hope is nobody's going to get hurt. So, I mean, he's a project. He's the definition of a project. But yeah, you want Makai's got to get on the field. Doesn't have to be week 1, but he's got to be part of it. And as early as possible. Because again, the drop-off from Devontae is huge. The drop-off from Dontavian right now looks huge. And the drop-off from projected Makai looks huge. So those 3 guys are your best receivers, and they got to be on the field consistently. And he hasn't been on the field. So right now it doesn't look great, but yeah, I mean, He could be a star by year 2. Eli Starr's a star by year 2. Markel Bell takes over for Lane Johnson, plays well. It all looks great. But if you're into immediate gratification, it doesn't look great right now.
I thought Markel Bell looked all right though in the game. It was funny, John. There was one of the scenes was funny because you're watching from the TV, and Willie Lampkin's at right guard, and Markel Bell's at right tackle, and you're like, looks like Markel Bell could freaking eat Willie Lampkin. One's the biggest guy in the NFL, and one's damn near the smallest offensive lineman, if not the smallest offensive lineman in the NFL. I think he is.
Definitely the shortest. There might be somebody lighter, but he's definitely the shortest.
Yeah, definitely the shortest. What is he, like 5'10", Willie Lampkin?
They list him at, I forget. He's 5'11", but I think they list him at 6 foot. I'd have to check, but he's not 6 foot. Yeah, but he's unique. I knew Eagles fans would fall in love with him because Rams fans did. And we'll see. Right now he's making a push. And he's playing center and guard, so they're trying to increase his versatility. He's very unique. He should fit the scheme because he's very athletic. You saw him bulldoze one guy down the field. He's very strong from his wrestling background, knows leverage. But that length is going to be a problem, especially with big time defensive tackle. You can imagine, like, he's got to go against, he knows from going against Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis in practice when he gets to go against those guys. But I knew everybody would fall in love with him just because of his size and his athleticism and his personality as well. Nice guy.
Yeah, good stuff there. All right, Bird Gang, appreciate it, man. Too early on the draft class. Okay, got to give it some time. Here's Charles Menifee. He checks in. What's up, Charles? Seems like you would want to go away from the offensive trends and do what defenses don't practice for. Go Birds.
You would think. Thank you. That is my whole point.
Yeah.
Who was that? I want to give them plaudits.
Charles Menifee, 7'8".
Charles, you were exactly correct, and you said it better than me, so I'm going to steal it. That's my exact point. And as Zander pointed out earlier, they won a Super Bowl doing that. Now you're concerned with winning a Super Bowl, but we got to do it prettier. And I'm not.
That look, smells like front office to me.
I'm not saying that it shouldn't be better than what it was last year. But I mean, if you execute last year, you're playing the same offense. They didn't execute.
Yeah, and like you point out, I mean, we sometimes we act like we were a 5-win team last year. They did win 11 games, and they sat their starters in the final game. They could have been a 12-win team.
Yeah. It's confusing to me. It is confusing. And when I saw Sharp put out all the numbers, how many teams were already doing it, and now how many teams are doing it on top of that? So now, and at some point I'll go down the list. I'm going to guess it's going to be 15, maybe more teams running the exact same shit.
Well, John, do you think the personnel of the team in 2026 as compared to 24 is part of the reason, for it? Like, for example, the offensive line. They're still good. I don't know if you think they could play like they did in 24 on a consistent basis. I mean, you did talk about the margin for error and also I think the window to be able to play that way. I mean, does that come into it at all? Does that explain it better than
Well, not until you change the quarterback.
Even with the O-line, I mean.
Well, the O-line, I mean, Landon's back, Cam's back, Lane's back.
Are they as good, though?
Well, I don't see
life as long. I mean, look at what it did.
Well, the shelf life isn't as long, but again, I'm trying to take advantage of the shelf life until the shelf life is over. Now, the offensive line has largely embraced these changes. They enjoy playing in this.
Yeah, they
style.
seem excited about the changes.
But I mean, because it's easier on them. Well, yeah, it's easier if you get some help. But one of the biggest advantages the Philadelphia Eagles have had in this era of success is that their tackles don't need help. Literally. If you were to force me to do a list of the reasons for the success on offense, specifically, that would be number one. They don't have to help their tackles. Nobody else has that luxury. So they say, all right, we're going to help them. That takes ammunition away from other aspects. You're essentially +2 because you don't have to help those guys for the teams that do have to help them, which is not everybody. Some have 1, some have 2. Some can do it occasionally. It's always a sliding scale. But again, when Warren Sharp did it first, it was the first group of games before the Eagles. All right. The Cardinals, and this is the largest increases in under center rate. The Cardinals went from 39 to 71. Who'd they hire? Matt LaFleur's brother. The Chargers went from 35 to 58. Who'd they hire? Mike McDaniel. Comes from the Kyle Shanahan tree. The Texans went from 42 to 65. Their offensive coordinator, and I don't even remember his name, I'll have to look it up, comes from Sean McVay's tree. The Bengals went from 24 to 46. Zach Taylor, that's more Joe Burrow being back, but Zach Taylor comes from Sean McVay. Raiders went from 43% to 63%. They hired Kubiak, the Shanahan Kubiak tree, Gary Kubiak's son. Everybody's doing the same shit. And all of these guys, even the guy in Houston, I can't remember his name, have more experience doing it than the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm not a fan of the mindset, and I'm not a fan of the copycat nature of what they're doing. And it's Nick Haley. I looked him up. He he's with the Patriots, with similar, but grew up under Sean McVay. Everybody's doing the same thing. And to Charles's point, all you do is practice against the same thing. Doesn't that make it easier for the defenses? Who looked better? Jesse Minter, first-time head coach, not a ton of experience, certainly some experience, more experience at the college level, but not a ton of experience at the pro level, or Sean Mannion.
Yeah, obviously Minter.
Yeah, not a fan of what's going on in the league as a whole, and the Eagles getting in line. Oh, we'll do that. Everybody's doing that. Let's do that. That's like when you're somewhere, you're unfamiliar, and you're like, oh, everybody's going that way. I'm just going to follow the crowd.
Yeah, follow the crowd. Follow the leader.
I'm not saying it can't work. I mean, but I don't like the mentality of it.
Make a good point, Johnny Mac. All right, John, what do you make of some of the other news around the league? A massive contract for a corner in Seattle. Devin Witherspoon gets $34 million a year. Interesting, John. He's lined up, I believe, more at the nickel, more at the slot than he has on the outside. Now, he's probably projected more outside in the future, but does that complicate the Cooper DeJean talk? What's it mean for Quinyon Mitchell? And then last night I saw the Cowboys bring in 8-time Pro Bowl pass rusher, future Hall of Famer Von Miller. I don't know how much he has left in the tank, But what'd you make of some of the news around the league, including those two things here?
Well, is that true with Witherspoon lined up more in the slot?
I thought I saw someone did a breakdown from PFF. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
He was, it's about even. 461 wide, 419 inside. So it's about even. That surprises me. I am surprised it's not more than that.
This is what I saw. Witherspoon has played more in the slot and the box, 1,614 than he has it outside, 1,199 according to PFF.
Yeah, last year was slightly more outside. That indicates he's more of a, hybrid Derwin.
That was Anthony DeBona that put that out on X, I saw.
Derwin James type player. Yeah, that's probably better news for Cooper. But as far as contracts, they're just doing Howie's work for Quinyon. You know what the template is, and you get it done.
Yeah, right.
All these corners.
They're not going to wait very long on that, right?
No.
Once he's eligible, they're going to strike the deal.
I mean, he's got to play one more year. Unfortunately, it's pro football. Shit can happen, but if he stays on the same trajectory, he's going to be the highest paid corner. That's how it works.
No, I think it's how it works, but I think it's also rightfully so. I think he's earned it. I think he's that good of a player. Pretty good stuff. And then, John, what'd you make of the Cowboys bringing in Von Miller?
Hall of Fame players, he said, one of the great pass rushers of all time. I don't know, he's like 36, whatever he was last year, and he had 9 sacks. He could get 10 sacks in his sleep, but I don't think it's positive at this stage. It tells you how desperate Dallas is for a pass rush, which, they traded a good a little bit a while ago. So, and they're still looking for a pass rusher. So this is a guy who can give you production, but he's not obviously the same as he was when he was Defensive Player of the Year or Super Bowl MVP or his 70-time Pro Bowls or whatever he's made. One of the great pure pass rushers. But you got a limited snaps. But when he's out there, he's gonna produce. But I don't think it's an overall positive that they're bringing him in.
Fair enough. All right, good stuff. Appreciate everybody being here today. Patriots joint practice this week. John, the Eagles have to keep improving. It seems as though the offense had started to have some better days, or at least we're stacking a little bit. You never, overreact one way or the other. But you did want to hear them, at least I did, want to hear them, build and progress on what they were doing. Now they have a big chance this week to do it with the New England Patriots. I think it's going to be an important week, not only for the team, but for the offense to see what they're made of, for Sean Mannion to get out there versus, really, I don't know where the Patriots defense was ranked last year, but they've obviously got some pretty good players on that defensive side of the ball, including former Eagle Milton Williams.
Yeah, Vrabel's a defensive guy. They're good from a scheme standpoint. Coached well. So it should be a very good test for the Eagles. Good team. A little bit, I think they overachieved. I don't think they should have been in the Super Bowl. If Bo Nix didn't get hurt, they probably wouldn't have been in the Super Bowl. But that's I don't think they should behave like the Washington Commanders and assume that they are going to take the next step. And by the way they've acted, I think you see that they didn't act like that. They went out and got A.J. Brown. They went out and got Romeo Doubs as well. They got Elijah Barrett Tucker, who's a big-time interior offensive lineman. They had a lot of offensive line troubles. Will Campbell got a lot of shit for playing hurt. We'll see if he can bounce back. Didn't play well in the playoffs. They drafted Caleb Lomu, who A lot of people thought the Eagles, and certainly had interest, brought him in to look at. Drake May's getting better and better. Not in love with Ramondre Stevenson, but they have Travion Henderson as well, so maybe they could piecemeal it together. The defense, as you pointed, they have Milton, and Christian Barmore is a good player. Not in love with their edge rushers, but they have like a group, and they drafted Gabe Jacobs, who some people like, coming in the draft, but they have Harold Landry, who's kind of okay. Dramont Jones, who's kind of okay. Our old buddy Christian Ellis is still a starting linebacker there. Good player. You get one of Howie's few mistakes trying to sneak in through waivers. Patriots claimed him, and he's turned into a starting player.
Yeah.
Or also
linebacker recently. No, probably is a lot.
No, yeah. But back in those days, they didn't have linebackers when they tried to sneak him through. Kevin Byard is there as well. So there's more than AJ. And of course, their best players, Christian Gonzalez, one of the best corners in football. So good team, good roster, getting better, doing the right things, unlike the Commanders. They got a bad backup quarterback situation, though. Well, you got to hope Drake May stays healthy.
Yeah.
Their backup quarterback situation.
Or do you think people are too high on him too quick?
Drake? A little bit.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a lot of gifts, but yeah, he's not as good as people tried to make it out to be last year. But Tommy DeVito is the backup.
One thing I liked about Drake May, I think people have gotten a little ahead of themselves on him, but I did like when you watch him, he stands in the pocket and keeps his eyes downfield, and he's willing to take a hit.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's part of the problem. You know, if he gets hurt, here comes Tommy DeVito. Your season is over. But yeah, he's a big, strong pocket side, and that's what people like. That's what you talk about, the polarizing nature of Jalen Hurts. He is a traditional pocket passer, at least as traditional as you get in the modern game. You do have to have some movement ability. You can't be like Joe Flacco.
Yeah, and I think May has it.
He does. That's what I'm saying. He does have that. But
it feels like that's going to be kind of, I don't know. I'm just speculating. You tell me if you think I'm way off, but I feel like, John, that's going to be kind of where the quarterback position evolves to. We've had this large spike of dual threats, and I think that's obviously not going anywhere. But I think you're going to start to see back to having an emphasis still on being able to pass the football well. Now, maybe it'll be hard because of youth football, high school football, college football is just not developing guys that way. But it feels like being a dual threat with having great pocket presence is going to be kind of the grand prize at the quarterback position in the future. Maybe already is. I mean,
I think it already is. I mean, I think if you look at the modern quarterback, probably the template is, from a physical standpoint, it's probably Caleb Williams. But
I guess Caleb's just a little smaller, shorter.
He's pretty big dude. I don't know.
I thought isn't he like 6 foot, or is he bigger than that?
No, he's bigger than that. Yeah. He's not. He's
6'1", it says.
Really? It's not all?
I know, because I met him at the Maxwell Award, and I got to give him credit for this. I met him at the Maxwells when he won the best college football player that year.
Yeah.
And I met him a year before he got drafted, and I was talking to him in the back because I used to do the production of the Maxwell Awards, and I would guide the award winners out onto the stage. And I had a moment, when they were kind of doing the intro for him, and we were talking, and he's like, "I'm going to be at the number 1 pick in the draft next year." And this was, he was kind of hyped up. But it's one thing to be hyped up. It's another thing to be hyped up and then live up to it and get to that point. Like, for example,
he shouldn't have been number 1, but I digress. But he was. He should have been 2.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I think Caleb Williams has more raw ability than Jayden Daniels does.
Yeah, I will agree to disagree there. I think Jayden's just a better quarterback. Now he's got to stay healthy, but I mean,
really. So if you had to pick one right now, you had one guy to pick, you'd pick Jayden over Caleb.
Oh yeah, Jayden Daniels is beast.
No, I would not.
He is a beast.
I will take that skill set on Caleb.
Much more accurate. Doesn't make as many mistakes. Like, Caleb has a stronger arm. He's I can't say he's more athletic because he doesn't use it. He probably is, but he doesn't use it enough.
Jayden's too small.
You know what gives it away? 226. That's how Caleb Williams. He's 226. At least that's what he's listed as.
Yeah,
that's why he doesn't strike me as Kyler Murray. Because he's a big dude. But Jayden's got to be
What's Jayden weigh? $190?
Yeah, but he's got to be 6'3", 6'4". So it's different, obviously different frames. But I mean, if people forget how good Jayden was as a rookie because he got hurt last year. Like, I'll tell you what. So there's 4 years. Jayden's rookie season was a hell of a lot better than Caleb's second season.
Well, that's true. But I mean,
so if we're looking at the 4 season, what was the best season? The best season for the 4 was Jayden's rookie season. I don't know if Caleb Williams will ever reach that level of play because I don't think he's as smart as a quarterback, to be perfectly blunt. Jayden Daniels has a feel for the position with all the athleticism. Now, he's got to stay healthy. I don't know what that bullshit about his number at LSU. Like, if he's worried about that shit, I don't know where it's coming from. I'm worried about certain things. But from a physical gift standpoint, if he keeps his head on straight and stays healthy, which is a big if, and they list him at 210. You know why? Because he is 6'4". So he looks skinnier, but he's tall. So that helps him. Won the Heisman, of course. Was a better college player. It's one of those things where, Caleb Williams, from the day he stepped into Oklahoma, top prospect, everybody. Then he left Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley, that fraud. And they're going to turn around SC. The glory days of SC. They didn't turn around SC. And I remember because it was the big Notre Dame USC game. And that game, and I admitted it on the air. I said that game skewed my entire thinking on Caleb Williams because they completely shut him down. And it was ugly. And I'm like, Notre Dame's generally a really good defense, but probably overrated because of the school and the high profile nature of the school. They're always thought to be a little bit better than they really are. Marcus Freeman's kind of turned that around because they are really good now, but they can play. It just turned me off. I was like, I can't. Sort of like the same shit with McCarthy. I'm like,
yeah,
all right,
but come on.
You're telling me
Williams is not McCarthy from a
not from a but it's a similar thing. You're telling me this guy is so great and you can't muster anything? Nobody shut Jayden Daniels down on the way to the Heisman. You have good games, bad games, but you don't have thinkers like that.
Yeah, I mean, you could use a similar thing. Caleb didn't turn USC around. I mean, Jayden lost 4 games at LSU. I mean, that's like a freaking losing record in the SEC. I mean, I get it. He had a Heisman year. He had a good individual year, but he didn't do much with that team either. It's funny though. Now he's acting like he's Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow was like 15-0.
I got a problem. I got a problem with that too. But, and he went to Arizona State before he even got to LSU. So, he was a transfer guy. So Caleb came in as
Herm Edwards, who coached him at Arizona State on the program, who was great about him.
Yeah, Caleb came in as a 5-star recruit to Oklahoma, and Oklahoma had a great quarterback at the time. Who the hell was it? He's in the NFL. Oh, Spencer Rattler, who was a great college quarterback. And they benched him for Caleb Williams, because Caleb was so hyped up. So he was supposed to be the guy. And I was like, that's kind of fucked up. But it worked out for him. And then he left. Shouldn't have left, but he left. And SC has never been anything under Lincoln Riley. But other than, they're a good team, but not a great team.
Yeah, it's close. I'm a Caleb guy. I like Caleb Williams. I mean, he's got to improve, obviously, the completion percentage and stuff. I think he was in the 50s last year.
That's the thing. If you look at Jayden was 72 in his last year at LSU, 68 in his first year at LSU. Completion percentage. As just a pure thrower of the football, he's more like, he's more like Lamar, which is ironic because Lamar was the knock on Lamar coming in was he was not accurate, which was everybody fucked that up. But he is tremendously accurate, Jayden Daniels, especially for a young quarterback. Caleb Williams sprays it all over the place. That bothers me. Even last year. But the gifts are. You can't.
Yeah, he's got that trait like where 3 quarterbacks in the world can make some of the throws he makes.
That when he rolls right and just throws the bullet down the side, like I don't even think there's 2 or 3 who can make that throw. That's like Favre and Rodgers in their primes throws. Yeah. But I mean, he completed 60. I'm looking at 62.5 as a rookie. Yeah. Last year, 58 with Ben Johnson. Like, I got a problem with that. He's like, if you're watering your shrubs, he's the spray on the hose.
Yeah, you put it on the setting that it goes all over the place. Yeah. John, who you think are the best quarterbacks right now under 25? Let's real quick. There's only
the under 25. Well, first of all, you got to tell me who's under 25.
That are in the conversation. Drake May, Jayden Daniels, Caleb Williams. I think CJ Stroud's under 25. Bo Nix, and I think that's it.
So what do we got? Drake May,
Jayden, Caleb, CJ, and Bo Nix.
Well, that group, I go.
I guess you could put Jackson
I go Jayden 1, Drake 2, Caleb 3, Bo Nix 4, and who was CJ Stroud? Yeah, CJ had a bad year, man. He's still better than Bo Nix. I'll go CJ 4. I'll go CJ 4, Bo Nix. I'm not a Bo Nix guy, I admit it.
I'm not either, but
isn't Bo Nix 27 before he got drafted? He was in college for 47 years.
But that might be wrong. Bo Nix age. He's 26. All right, so he's outside our bubble. He's outside.
He's only played freaking 2 years, and he's outside.
Come on, Google AI. Google AI. Put him on my list.
You got to be careful with Google AI because they get a lot of shit wrong.
Yeah, Google AI is not very accurate. It's kind of bullshit. The other ones are pretty good. But all right, good stuff. All right, I like Caleb. I'd probably go. Well, I don't know why I'm struggling with Jayden Daniels, John. I just don't think he's going to have a long career.
Well, you're Eagles up, man, because he's in the division.
No, it's not. People get mad at me in this channel all the time because I think Dak Prescott's a good quarterback.
He took that garbage team to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, but it's a flash in the pan. Like, I want to see it more consistently. I guess he got hurt, so it's hard to tell. But, I don't know. I'm also slanted because of all the things that roster, that team and organization could have done after a rookie performance like that, I literally thought they made every wrong move. I'm like, what are you doing? They're building the oldest roster in football after your rookie quarterback does that. It was horrible. And then it
I agree, but that's not his fault.
No, but it's going to impact how he plays and how long his career is in the NFL.
Well, I mean, I think it's fair to wonder if he can hold up from a physical perspective because of what went on last year. I think that's very fair. But when he's on and he's healthy, that dude can play. There's no question. Now you got to get healthy and you got to be healthy, but he's a pain in the ass to deal with. You talk about modern quarterbacks, he is a pain in the ass to deal with.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I know Drake and Caleb are probably my favorite too, and then I'd go Jayden and then CJ probably. But all right, good stuff. Appreciate everybody for being here today. We'll keep rolling here with the.
By the way, one last thing before you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm looking it up because I do think one of my biggest problems, well, accuracy is number one. The second biggest problem I have with Caleb is he doesn't use his athleticism like he should. And he has this great running ability and doesn't run. He didn't have one rushing touchdown as a rookie. I know that was a narrative. And he did have 3 last year, but he ended up with 388 rushing yards. In his rookie season, people forget, Jayden Daniels threw for 3,600 yards, and he had the 100 passer rating, 69% as an NFL rookie, the accuracy. He ran for 891 yards on top of that. Like, he's the modern template if you can keep him healthy. He's the closest thing to Lamar since Lamar. But I mean, people hate Lamar because he hasn't won a Super Bowl.
I don't know. I don't really have a problem with him having athletic ability but not running all the time, because then you just significantly hinder your shelf life. Like I think Jalen Hurts has done a great job at running the football and protecting himself, but most quarterbacks, they don't do that well. Jalen does it well. Jalen protects himself well, and
I'm a big take advantage of the shelf life guy. I'm not worried about 10 years. I'm worried about taking advantage of the shelf life. And I want, like in his prime, like when he was winning MVPs, Lamar threw for 36 touchdowns and had 1,200 yards rushing. And then he threw for 3,700 yards and had 800 rushing. And this has been going on for 7 years. Like, what more do you want? Now, they haven't won the Super Bowl. He should have won 3 MVPs. He's only got 2. He got robbed of the one because of Diana Rossini. I'm joking. He should have won 3. He only has 2. I mean, I'm about taking advantage of the shelf life. I'm not going to say, I want to keep this guy for 10 years, so don't run.
Yeah.
If you can run for 1,200 yards.
Better in the pocket. That's where I like Ben Johnson with Caleb. I think he's going to make him, proficient from the pocket more so, and that's going to help him have a better career.
His completion percentage went down with Ben Johnson.
Well, that's because, it's like you put him in this tougher offense. It goes down, hopefully short term, and then long term he gets better at it. I don't know. I mean,
I'll tell you what, it's going to go up from 58 because it pretty much has to do with the modern NFL. If you're a quarterback at 58, that is brutal.
Yeah, it is. Well, they beat our ass in Philadelphia last year, the Bears.
They did. But I'd give that offensive line the more credit.
Drew Dahlman. I think that's their biggest issue this year. That guy retired. That dude had a great day. Yeah. Darnell Wright that they just gave big.
I call that the Darnell Wright game. There's always
and that's who, by the way, who they selected one spot after Jalen Carter. So both of those picks have seemed to work out. All right, good stuff there. We're going to keep rolling here when it comes to Eagle football, getting ready, obviously, for a big week versus New England. John, where are we on the edge rusher spot? We saw some stuff from Epinesa and Ebiketie this weekend. I thought Epinesa looked pretty good. I mean, the one playing coverage, we talked about that on the postgame show, just not where you want him to be in. But what's the confidence level, John, with Jonathan Greenard missing time at this point? I'm starting to get a little concerned, and it's not anything new. It's just, I don't know if I'm having like PTSD or Robert Quinn or whatever, but like, is Jonathan Greenard not going to be that guy?
Oh man.
What's the confidence level in that room if he can't be, or if he does miss time this year?
Yeah, I don't like that comp. I mean, Robert Quinn was a great pass rusher. but he was at the end of his career. And,
I don't know. He went from 14 sacks to nothing pretty quick.
well, yeah, he was at the end of his career, and he was traded for in season, and I don't know how old he is. He's well into his 30s when he came here, and he did have 18 and a half sacks the year before he came, and only had, gotta look it up. He had 1 sack in 7 games with Chicago, and then the Eagles traded him, and he didn't have any, and then he never played again. So, never went anywhere else. So he was clearly at the end of his career. And yeah, that speaks to how quickly things can drop off. But he was also well into his 30s, maybe 33 at the time, 32, whatever. Greenard's not at that level. But I mean, yeah, look, if it were a torn ACL, a torn Achilles, a torn patellar tendon, yeah, I'd be more concerned. It's a strained pec. It sucks because they traded for him, and he ended last year needing shoulder surgery. So you're going to have this narrative, but yeah, I'm not too worried about Jonathan Greenard. And I'm not too worried about the Eagles at the edge rusher position because I do think they're deeper than they have been in the Vic Fangio era with Ebiketie and Epinesa, whoever jumps ahead of the other. I think they both are NFL rotational pass rushers. So you can make do even if he has to miss a couple weeks into the regular season. You need him out there eventually. But they're going to be cautious about it. But I'm not. I wouldn't put it like people, Devontae Smith all the time. I have no worries about no call, 99%. You never go 100. I wouldn't put him at 99, but I put him at over 90. I'm not worried about him at all.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Smitty at all.
No, I'm not. I'm saying Greenard he's not quite Smitty level, but he's
okay.
very
So
close.
He's still above 90 for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, not for me. But all right, that's fine.
I'm not worried about him at all.
All right, we'll see what that looks like. John, is this the point? Have we reached the point in the offseason on Makai Lemon's hamstring absence where it becomes a week 1 concern rather than just kind of a camp storyline?
Yeah, I think today when we get down there is big. I think if he's not out there today, I mean that there's a slight chance they could hold him out today and get him back for New England, but I doubt it. I would think they'd want to again knock the rust off here and then get him in as much as possible. There's going to be a ramp up period as well, even there. But if he misses another week, and remember, if he misses Wednesday's practice in Foxborough, he's not coming back on Thursday. And if he misses practice, he's not playing in the preseason game. So that wipes out another week. If he's not back this week, yeah, I don't think there's a good chance that he's going to be a big part of things in week 1. I think this is the week. And I think this is the day, to be honest, to get him back out there.
I think you're right. And I think it's going to be a little concerning. I mean, if he's not out there, because then you're going to be looking like, all right, I get it. We have optimism about the future, but when it comes to being a Super Bowl contender in the year 2026, 2027, right now, do they have the horses in the stable to be able to go and compete for a Super Bowl with the group they have right now? I think those questions are going to come quickly thereafter, John, if he can't get out there this week.
Yeah, I'm not really panicking over him not being relevant in week 1. I mean, again, that's the immediate gratification aspect. As long as he's in the mix by, I would say, mid-season, I'd still be okay with it. I'm not saying it's optimal, but it's not the end of the world is what I'm trying to say. if you're at midseason and he's not one of the 3 top receivers on this team, that's bad. That's bad because I the preseason kind of exposed that the hype the other guys were getting wasn't quite real. So as I said, right now you have a huge drop off between Devontae and Dontavian. You have a huge drop off between Dontavian and Makai, and you have a huge drop off from Makai, who hasn't even played, to everybody else. Like, they need him out there, and they're going to struggle if he's not out there. And they might struggle when he is out there, but I don't care who your favorite is. Pick your favorite. Most people are going to say Darius Cooper. Darius Cooper, Elijah Moore, Johnny Wilson, Ezu Kanma. Pick your favorite. Any of them. They're not having great success against NFL level corners on a consistent basis. They're not Jahan Dotson. And nobody likes Jahan Dotson here.
Oh, Jahan Dotson was a good player. He never got the ball.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if you're not getting the ball.
But people don't look at him that way because they didn't get him the ball. But when he had opportunities, he made catches. He made some great catches, big catches. He's got significant talent, at least. Yeah, I coming out of that game, that was, most of it I can write off. The receiving hype is not justified. Like, there were a lot of people saying, well, maybe they're better at receiver. They're not better at receiver. And that's only going to amp up this week because AJ's going to be there.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I think it's going to be something to keep an eye on. They have had a very successful run, John, with good receivers, and now you're kind of relying on lesser receivers and improving the passing game. Sean Mannion, buckle up, my friend. You got a big task in front of you. All right, for him this year to improve this Eagles offense.
Scheme it up.
And speaking of them, what do you want to see this week from them versus New England in joint practice? I know you're not going to see it, but what do you want to hear about at least from them doing? I do think it's their toughest test or their best test before the season starts to actually get some meaningful reps in through camp.
Yeah, I mean, it's important. You don't have to win the practice. You got to get better, which I know is a nebulous standard. Judge who wins the practice. I remember, I always talk about the joint practice in Miami because it was 1,000 degrees down there, and the Dolphins have their brand new facility, and they're stretching in the glorious air conditioning, and then they roll out to the field like stormtroopers and literally destroy the Eagles in a practice. And by the way, they blew them out in the preseason game as well. Guess what? The Eagles were a good team. They were an average team. So you don't have to win the practice, but you do have to get valuable reps, and they're going to have growing pains on offense. That's pretty clear. So that's the biggest part of it. That remains. That's going to be a season-long story. Pick a fucking lane when it comes to calling the plays from the field and the booth, which I think I would be shocked if it's not from the field, but we'll see. But pick a lane either way. Start getting this thing going in the right direction. And start practicing some shit. That's not going to happen.
Is that Nick? Is that Nick who's stopping them from doing that?
Yes.
Boy, Nick is
now they will practice stuff in joint practice because you can't video that, or for the most part. I mean, I don't. They have a new facility there, so I haven't been there. I don't know if they have a setup like the practice, the Lincoln Financial Field practice here. Well, fans can tape that whole thing. I mean, they're farther away. We're not allowed to, but they can tape the whole thing. Like everybody's.
That's just about flash. That practice to me is just about flash. They put a little show on for the fans.
Well, exactly. But these are valuable sessions, and I'm saying they will try stuff. They will run stuff they're going to run. It'll be more relevant than the preseason when they vanilla everything up. But
you got to trust the Patriots, I guess, and Mike Vrabel, who's seriously pretty untrustworthy.
Yeah. Well, so I don't know, but I'm in the category of, Jesse Minner it up, man. Hey, you want to be good at something, practice it. I don't care. But that's my belief of modern coaches. I know a lot of old school coaches. I'm not going to say ego's not involved, because it's always involved. If you get to that level in life and you're a head coach in the NFL, you probably got a pretty big ego. And that's understandable. But I mean, the newer, how do I describe it? I'm trying to describe it through the newer brand of offensive coaches, specifically offensive. They think, I think a lot of them, I'm not going to say all of them, I think a lot of them think they're more important than the players. I get that feeling, and they're not.
You think that's the case in Philly right now?
Well, I said it like I said it. I think the vast majority of modern offensive coaches think, I always use the college basketball thing. And college basketball is always about Bobby Knight and Dean Smith. It's always about the coaches. Pro basketball was about the players. The NFL offensively is starting to strike me as college basketball, where it's about the play color, it's about the scheme, and I think these guys have bought into the hype. And I do not believe that is the case.
Interesting. You think even the players have fallen for it? It's not about their talent, it's about everything around them.
No, I don't think the players have. I don't think the players. I think the players know. I mean, they're the ones out there. They know. But yeah, I mean, and that's just not. I'm not picking on the Eagles. That's a league-wide problem.
Yeah, it's league-wide, right? Yeah. But to your point, the Eagles have gotten in line. The Eagles have joined the rodeo.
Yeah. And I don't get that sense from the defensive guys, and I think I have more respect for the defensive guys, not only because all the rules are against them and they got to keep figuring out ways to stop these guys, no matter how much is stacked up against, and they do it, number one. And right now they've come up with these havoc, I call them havoc-based defenses, and that was a great play, the Tanner McKee sack, perfect example of it. Confuse the quarterback, you line up, you rotate post-snap, the blitz is coming from the opposite side the quarterback thinks, from where you lined up, and boom, you got a free rusher, and the quarterback just crumbles under. Those guys are busy creating new ways, and these guys are just, well, Sean does it well, let's copy Sean, or Kyle does it well, let's copy Kyle.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be an interesting year this year, John. We'll see what ends up happening. We got a super chat here from Sauce It Up. What's up, Sauce It Up? About 10 minutes left to go in the show. We're going to get J-Mac out of here a couple of minutes early. John, what time are they on the field today? Like noon, right?
12:20. Sean's talking at noon.
So Sean will talk at noon. All right, good stuff. Sauce It Up says this. Do you think Howie makes a move before the season?
Yes.
How substantial?
Not very.
So what will be spent in trade or in acquisition for this player would you project? A couple million, third, fourth round pick, fifth round pick, sixth round pick. What do you got?
Day 3 pick, player for player. Jacorian Bennett for Thomas Booker type trade.
Which was a bad trade, but okay, I digress.
Well, they do a lot of player for player stuff in August. Guy you know isn't going to make your roster. Guy who's not going to. Harrison Bryant. Where's our Harrison Bryant fan? For John Mechie. There you go. How about that one?
Yeah, it's true.
Always makes something. He's antsy. He likes making moves. I don't think it'll be significant. This is not the time of year. And, unless you want to sign a 37-year-old Von Miller is going to excite people because he's going to the Hall of Fame, but he's 37.
Yeah, right.
Those are the guys on the Aaron Donald coming back, Harrison Smith coming back. Those guys. Brandon Graham might come back. I doubt it, but he's always going to do something. I mean, that's just his nature. It's his nature.
Sauce it up. We'll see what ends up happening with Howie Roseman and what he does, before the start of the season. We are, John, just under a month away from the official start of the NFL season. We're one preseason game down. You got, this week coming up with the Patriots. So what do they have? 2 joint practices, right? What, 2 days?
Yeah, Wednesday and Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, cool. Sauce it up says, damn, no Max Crosby. I doubt that.
No.
They paid Greenard.
Yeah.
If Jalen has a good year, I'm thinking Howie might regret that deal.
I don't think so.
It depends. I mean, Greenard has a great year. He won't, obviously.
It's structured. They can get out of it. They don't sign bad contracts. I'm going to be saying this for 50. I don't know how long I'll be here, but
yeah, but it's still not ideal. Like you said, if you get evaluations wrong a bunch of times, it's going to hurt you eventually.
Well, that's true. I mean, the evaluation is always the key. In the case of, you already know this guy can play. You're not even evaluating. You're just hoping he stays healthy. It's not like Bryce Huff where there's some projection. You already know this guy can perform. But I'm just taking a look at his contract. His cap number is $6.2 million this year. It's like these guys are good bookkeepers. You don't have to worry about it. You really don't.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's and the evaluation part. This is the health, and that's every player. I mean, even somebody who doesn't have previous health issues can get hurt in the NFL and could derail a contract, obviously. But there's no evaluation with this. They didn't get the evaluation of the player wrong. He's a proven commodity. So if Jalen Hunt turns into a star, great. They'll take that, and they'll roll his the final 2 years of his it'll only be the final year with him because he wasn't a first round pick. But they'll roll that final year of his contract into the extension, which will be pumped up by the agent, and it'll be, when it gets filed, it'll say, "Wow, look at the cap numbers." Greenard's got 4 void years. His cap number doesn't get untenable until 2030 when he's not even under contract. That's the first of the void years. So I wouldn't worry about it.
Fair enough. All right, good stuff there, Johnny Mac. John, your final thoughts here on this Monday edition, ugly preseason game. We move on. Patriots game.
I think we can officially turn the page on that preseason game and hopefully never speak of it again. Although I'm sure we will. But I'm sure we will. But time to move on. On to New England, as Bill Belichick might say.
All right, good stuff there. John, why did they move the practice back today?
Just good question. I have no freaking idea. It was first. They had told us this tentatively. It would be a 12:20, and this is the first practice. that isn't at 10 of training camp, because this is still training camp. I have no idea. Just coming back from Baltimore, I have no idea. It's weird. It's weird. I guess it's because of the actually going to Foxborough. It's a weird week from going to Foxborough. Like they're doing a walkthrough tomorrow, then getting on the plane. They're flying up. So, and then the practices there are 10:15 in the morning. So Wednesday, Thursday, walkthrough game. So this is the last day we'll see them in Philadelphia, and the whole week will be up in Foxborough.
Good stuff. All right, J-Mac, good show today, my friend. We'll catch up with you this evening after practice. Should be a little bit later show, probably around 6. I'm not sure what time you get home with a later practice. It's going to be interesting. So just
I might do it from there. We'll see how it looks.
All right, sounds good. We'll do a shorty after the practice tonight to keep you guys posted. Dill, thanks for your chat at the T with member for 13 months. Thank you, Dylan. John, great show, man. We will catch up with you this evening. All right, brother?
All right, see y'all. Thanks.
All right, later, man. Thanks, Johnny Mac. There's John McMullen joining us right here on Birds 365. A good Monday show, everybody. Hope everybody had a nice weekend this weekend outside of the putrid Eagles preseason game. We all get to see the Eagles jerseys and players on our TV screens, but wasn't very pretty. That's all right. All right, we're going to move on. I don't think it matters all that much, but you wanted to see a little more. Little more would have been nice. All right, maybe a little more, but that's all right. 140 yards to like 440 for the Baltimore Ravens. They didn't have a problem moving the ball without Lamar Jackson. But I digress. All right, good show today. I'm excited for this week, guys. Eagles, Patriots, you got the joint practices. I don't really care as much about the game, but the joint practices are going to be interesting to follow to see what comes out of those. And, I think you got some great matchups. You got A.J. Brown versus the corners. You got, our receivers versus their corners. They've obviously, Christian Gonzalez and some good players over there. Milton Williams is on their squad. He's been really good. So I think it's an exciting week for this Eagles team. I think it's going to be kind of a good gauge of where are we right now and what do we need to optimize, get better, and improve on before the year comes. So I think it's going to be a good test for the Eagles. Not a test, but you know what I mean. I think it's going to be a good way to see where do I stand right now with another good team. With another good team. I think the Patriots are a good team. I think Drake May is a good player. Vrabel's a good coach. Might be an untrustworthy person, but he's a good football coach. All right, so we'll see. I think it's going to be a good week. Houston says, come on, offense, stretch out. Houston, how many hamstrings can this team have? Unbelievable. Bird Gang checking in. What's up, brother? They picked up right where they left off, Zander. I thought Petula was still here. Yeah, it looked like it, man. Looked like it. Curtis, what's up, Curtis? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, brother. Oh, for those who missed it, last week, maybe some of you weren't here. Your boy's got a baby coming. All right. I announced that last week, but I don't know who heard it and who didn't because our show schedule has been so messed up. But, yeah, your boy's going to be a pops. Look, I got the see the test. It's exciting. Curtis says, Z, I do agree it would be a lot better to run the offense and find rhythm than protect your competitive advantage by hiding plays. Do you believe in the plays or not? I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I agree with you. Houston says, Zander, you need to make this shirt. Come on, offense, stretch it out or something. I might have one buyer, Houston, and you'd be the guy. Alfredo says, Zander, I want to see Hurts dicing up the Patriots secondary and Saquon running crazy against their defense. Let's go, Alfredo. Thanks, guys, for saying congrats. Appreciate all you guys. I'm excited. About it. Johnny Mac going to be the godfather. That'll be my brother. Quick work. Congrats. Yes, Slager. Honeymoon. I told you. I wasn't messing around, Slager. I didn't lie to you. I know. I try to never lie. All right. I want to hear Jalen Hunt destroy. I think Jalen Hunt should have his way with Will Campbell, actually. But I like Will Campbell from a mentality standpoint. I don't know how good he's going to be in the league long term. I know he struggled a little bit late last year, but undersized for a tackle. But we'll see. Congrats. Yeah, I just took mine to her first. Curtis, nice. Exciting. You're having a kid. Congrats. Thanks, Daz. Exciting stuff. That was quick. Yeah, I told you guys it was going to be quick. All right. There you go, Philly. Even when I lie, I tell the truth. It's a great line. It's a great line right there. It's a great line. One of my all-time favorite movies. One of my all-time favorite movies, Philly. Scarface. I know there's a lot of Scarface haters out there. They're like, oh, too overrated film. Overrated film. Shut up. Scarface is sick. Always has been and always will be. Say hello to my little friend. Congrats, hey, Tony. Thanks, man. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Dank, that's what they're saying in the chat, but, you know, I am a white dude, Dank, so I don't think so. I don't think so. Zander, Makai couldn't make it through OTAs. Are we supposed to rely on him for a season? Come on. Houston, I don't know. That's what they're telling me, man. That's what they're telling us. Look, I think this team is – these are fair questions about this team this year. You know, get rid of AJ and hope the offense is going to be better. I don't know. We'll see. I hope. We'll see. Bumper says, I hate the Sean Mannion experience. Oh, Pump, you hate everything. No, Dank. Heck no. No, I'm out on that, man. I'm out on that name. Due is March, Rasputin. March. Middle of March. March 15th, I think it is. Yeah, so we'll have the baby well before our first anniversary. June 20th, I got married. Yeah, March, baby. Here's Prince. The preseason game sucked, but I saw a lot I liked. Bell and Willie Lampkin played well. That's depth. I know J-Mac's down playing JT, but those three players, Kendall, Lampkin, and Bell. I'm with you on that. You've been asking some legit questions, and Johnny Mac and Cheese have been saying, nah, don't worry about it. That's true, man. That's true. Pumper, that is on the list. That is on the list. B Pumper is on the list, I will tell you. All right. That's officially on the list. Jimbo, I love it. I love that phrase. My boy Ryan G in the chat always gives me crap every time I say it, but it's such a great phrase. Dog water. Dog water. Ryan acts like he doesn't know what that means. Ryan, you get a dog? Pick up your dog ball and drink the dog water. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I thought. Ryan. You know exactly what that means. 321, nice, Rasputin. I'm right now it's 315. We'll see. Tony says, Zay, I'm going to call. Nice, Tony. That's sweet. Tony, I think I'm going to have a video coming out on ZK's Garage. I know. I got to get to it, dude. I got discouraged after my vet got crashed into. I still haven't heard whether they're totaling it. Believe me, I've been fighting with the insurance guy now because I'm like, dude, I need a fucking answer. It's been 2 months. Actually, August 17th. It happened June 17th. So it's been 2 months to the day. The shop in the Chevy store, the Sioka, did all the work. They submitted everything. Now we're just waiting on the damn insurance company to deem it whether it's a total or they're going to give a check to fix it. Either way, whatever I get, I'm getting out of the car. I'm not keeping the car. I'm certainly not fixing the car. So it's like I was so discouraged about it. No, it was Old York Road. No. But still, I got so discouraged about it. You know, just like from a sense of I loved it, and it's crazy. Yeah, that's what it is, Curtis. I mean, the first shop wouldn't work on it. and then it goes there. And I think, I don't know. I don't understand what they're trying to do. I mean, the estimate's at 60 freaking G's. That's what the estimate's at. And they didn't even factor in the 9 to 12 months they said it was going to take. I mean, I have a hard time believing they're going to do anything. But if what they do, I've already done the back end. Like, for example, if they say we're not going to total it, I'm going to get the 60 G's and I'm going to sell the car as is. I've already worked with some people. My mom works at a car dealership. She's worked there her whole life. So I've already worked with some buyers, like some people who would be buyers of the car, because what people do is they'll buy the car, they'll part it out, they'll sell the engine, they'll sell the front seats, they'll sell the hood, the rest of the car is in perfect condition. So I have I think I could find a buyer who would get me over the top to where I'd make out okay on it, but still, it's just a process, it's like, so we'll see, man. We'll see. Bumper says, who we traded for? We midway through August and we got a whole lot of ass. Pump always has Pump, you got a way with words, my friend. You got a way with words. I'll tell you that. Love Anthony. Love Anthony Houston. It's a great name. Daz, I don't know yet, if you can believe it. I don't know yet. So we'll see, man. But all right, folks. Love all you guys. Good show today. Big week this week for the Birds, folks. It's a big week for the Birds. All right. Yeah, Slager, I believe that. I'm dealing with it. I'm dealing with it right now. So, all right, folks. Good show today. Big week for the Birds this week. All right. Patriots joint practice. They'll have the preseason game on Saturday night. Probably will be even less players in that game than there was this past Saturday. But, let's see a little something, Sean. Come on, man. Let's see a little something, Sean. But love all you guys. Appreciate all you guys being here. Good to see a bunch of you guys in here today. And I appreciate all you guys doing it. I will catch up with you guys. We'll have the National Football Show, obviously, from 2 to 6 today. And then we're going to do a football 24/7 tonight, about a 30-minute show or whatever it is after practice. So we give you guys the update on what happens down at practice. All right, so hit that like button. I'll catch you guys next time. See you, everybody.